Okay, bring it in, recruits, huddle up. I hope you had your Wheaties this morning, because today we're talking about a crucial topic, and that is key binding. Now, what is key binding? It is the act of assigning a key on your keyboard to a specific ability in your spell book or repertoire or whatever it might be called in any given game. And what is the difference between clicking an ability and key binding an ability? Well, the difference is that you just don't click. Just don't do it. Because if someone in-game finds out that you clicked an ability, they're going to laugh at you. And you know what? They should laugh at you because you did something that the coach directly told you not to do. Alright, recruits, we're going to jump back over to World of Warcraft for this video, as it is a game in which my personal craft has been refined over the course of more than a decade. We'll use our training camp character from before, the Blood Elf Mage, Kelborn. First, I'll hit Escape to open up the main game menu, then press the interface button. Here you can see several selections that may be made to add more action bars. You're almost certainly going to want to enable some extra action bars as you gain more abilities over time. When I enable the bottom left and right bars, you can see some new bars appear at the bottom. There are already some keybinds present here because keybinds are stored on a Blizzard server and are attached to a given player account. I'll close out of it for now. But I just wanted to quickly note that each MMO has a different method for handling the process of adding bars and key binding abilities. It's important to assign keys that are easy for your main keyboard hand to reach, to spells that are part of the core rotation or are otherwise spells used in critical moments. Therefore, I want to move Frostnova to a different spot and change the keybind because it's more of a utility spell. So I'll press Escape again, except this time I press Keybindings to enter that menu. The first page that appears will be for the main action bar at the bottom. Everything you see here is currently housed on that action bar and keybound to the keys that are listed in this column. The first thing I want to do here is enable character-specific keybinds by checking the box at the top of this window. This makes it so that what I do here on Kelborn doesn't interfere with binds on other characters. Alright, so the thing is, I want to put Frostnova on one of the other action bars I enabled. So I'll click Multi-Action Bar to the left, then find the spot on the bar that I want. Then, I left-click under the Key 1 column. The UI then waits for me to press the key or key combination I want. I think I'll use Shift F. Alright, then I click OK. And once that's done, I just have to move the ability to that spot on the bar. Because my action bars are locked by default, I'll shift left click and drag the ability over like so. With situational abilities like Frostnova, I try to assign a key that aligns with the spell name, so Shift F where F is for Frostnova. This is my personal approach, but you can do it however you prefer. Just don't click. Now everything is in place and I'm ready to rock. Next I'm going to show you some film of the custom UI I used to play my Enhancement Shaman. You'll notice right away some major differences, notably the map at the bottom next to the meter which tracks the damage output of a group. My main rotational spells are wedged between my health bar and the target health bar. All of these spells are keybound as suggested to easy-to-reach keys. Keybinding promotes the development of a muscle memory, which increases reaction time and ability usage time. Not only that, but I can hide spells that have no cooldown. For example, where is Purge or Healing Surge? Well, they're hidden, so my UI ends up being cleaner. Although to track important cooldowns, I use timer bars that appear in this blank space you see at the bottom. Also, my group and raid panel would appear in this space as well, but I'm not currently in a group. Maximizing damage output is a cornerstone of playing a DPS character effectively. And keybinding, in turn, is a cornerstone of maximizing DPS output. Don't click. In case you aren't familiar, I'm attacking a training dummy. Just above the target's health bar, you can see a steady stream of numbers scrolling downward. This is known as scrolling combat text and lets the player know how much damage each ability is dealing. In my UI, larger numbers indicate critical strikes, and critical strikes hit for more damage. That's it for this section. but I wanted to go over a few more things about ability rotations before I jump into a dungeon and show you some applied keybinding. In case you're wondering how I know what spells to use and in what order, there are a ton of really smart people out there who perform mathematical calculations and run simulations to determine the optimal build. The guide I use was written by Word Up, who is a prominent enhancement shaman in the theory crafting community. I'll put a link to his guide in the description. As a general strategy for dungeons, it's a good idea to keep groups of enemies as tight as possible so that aerial spells can hit them all at once, thereby increasing the group's overall damage. We aren't doing a very good job of this now, so I wanted to illustrate a technique that is much easier to perfect if you keybind effectively. Because my muscle memory knows my middle mouse button is bound to a spell which interrupts spellcasting, I can interrupt this spellcaster on the left and corral him back into the group. Similarly, one of the enemies in this group uses an ability that causes my team and I to flee in fear. Since I notice this quickly enough, I'm able to use Tremor Totem, which is a totem that when dropped, breaks the fear instantly to let us defeat the enemy. Here's another example. I'm going to drop a totem called Capacitor Totem. This totem charges up for a few seconds and then releases the charge to stun enemies that are near it. This totem needs to be placed manually as shown in order to hit the maximum number of enemies, which stuns them for a few seconds and prevents all damage and spellcasting. All three of these examples are relatively simple, but rely on keybinding and muscle memory training. Now you can understand why I keep telling you greenhorns not to click. Alright recruits, thanks for stopping by here at MMO Training Camp. I hope you learned a lot about keybinding and how important it is to do so effectively. Next week I hope to have something very special posted in the All Pro section of the YouTube channel. Right now my guild is very close to killing Mythic Archimond, and we hope to get him either tonight or tomorrow night. And if we do so, I'll begin working on the video for that, and it will be in MMO Training Camp style. But I think it'll be more entertaining for those of you elite players who have thus far just tuned into my channel to watch me make fun of myself. So there's that. So have a great week and keep practicing.